Welcome back to the process. It's your boy Ralph. Excited to talk some divisional football with you. We'll get into it. Keep it short and simple. Just get you guys some, quick tidbits about what we might see this week and go over what we saw last week. If you're new to the show, welcome. This is Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment presents the process. Typically, what we would do during the season is go through segment by segment, uncover all of the angles of the football action for every week so that we can have a leg up on everybody in the DFS world, in the seasonal football world. We want to win. We want to sound smart. We want to act like we know what we're doing. That's what this podcast is about. Taking you from before the draft through championship week, as you see, we're still going, and giving you the notes and the tips that you need to beat everybody in your circle. So that's the process usually. Once we get to the playoffs, a little more truncated, just a little more banter, just a little more what we see in each week, give you a little bit of an edge if you think you may want to continue to play DFS, which gets more precarious as the games get fewer. Again, I'm your host, Ralph. If you're new, you can find this podcast at www.tigerbombsae.com. All the Tiger Bomb podcasts you can find there. You can click on the process page, watch it there, listen to it there, watch it via YouTube there, as well as use that website to check out the other podcasts that Tiger Bomb offers as well. True crime, baseball, NASCAR, you name it. If you want to listen to your podcast on the go, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, got you covered. Got you guys covered. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, just search Tiger Bomb Sports Audio Entertainment. This will come up. You can like and subscribe. Listen to us on the go. Catch all the new episodes that way, as well as all the other episodes of Tiger Bomb podcasts. If you like and subscribe that way through your app, you'll catch it all. If you're a social media person, great. We can connect there too. No problem. Facebook, Twitter, same way. At the process, TBSAE. Want to do some last minute banter, maybe some, this or that player for DFS purposes. Typically during the year, during the fantasy regular season, people are using the Facebook or the Twitter to get maybe some last minute tips for stardom sit-em. So that's the important information where you can find us. Last week, wildcard week got us into the playoffs, y'all. We saw Seattle go to San Fran and lose. Just too much San Francisco for the Seahawks. I mean, Geno's just a guy. He had a great year, but he's not a difference maker, right? And so they were an inferior team, and it looked that way. San Francisco had their way with them, able to run the football liberally with McCaffrey and get their way. It was nice to see finally Seattle force the issue to DK Metcalf. Should have did more of that all year long. Don't know why they didn't do more of that, but they did finally go in that direction, which was cool to see. But ultimately, Ken Walker, decent middling on the ground, but just not enough to take over the football game. So there you go. They didn't embarrass themselves in the first half, but certainly blown out in the second half. Chargers at Jacksonville, we talked about this one, said the Chargers are going to win. And boy, was I feeling confident when they got up 27-0. They came back and lost this game. I'm sorry. It's on the coach. It's on everything. It's like they had a complete meltdown. And Jacksonville wasn't necessarily super poised or anything. Yes, they were poised. Yes, they came back and they won. But it's like there's a lot of celebration for Trevor Lawrence. It's like he's the reason they were in that hole, right? He made so many mistakes in the first half. So I'm not really one to celebrate a guy for correcting his own shortcomings, right? Like that's like you get the credit you're due for sure, but you got them into this mess. Of course, you should have got them out. But the Chargers basically had the foot on the gas and let up in the second half. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't get points on the board. Couldn't stop them. That's a real serious offensive, philosophy meltdown. And defensive as well. I don't know where that team goes from there. You can't really fire Brandon Staley. It's like not enough to get him fired. Like, unfortunately, he's been doing enough to keep his job, but that's not great. Like, that's a team with not a lot of direction. They should have ran that football more. Much more the path to victory for them. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it at all. At the end, they didn't run with Jacksonville because they got down, obviously. But looking for Kirk and more Kirk over Jones, but we had called out those two last week, and Evan Ingram showed up there a little bit too But that they kept playing, and Trevor made some plays, but ultimately, not a great outing by him. Even though he finished it strong, you got to look at the whole body of work, right? And so it's kind of like they shouldn't have won that football game, but they did. They're obviously on borrowed time this year, but just a storybook year for them so far. The Chargers got to go right back to the well and try to figure out what's going on with that football team. Embarrassing loss, honestly. Miami at Buffalo.